Bueno pues, ¿cómo están? Welcome back to the Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez. So glad that you joined us. You know, the late Juan Gabriel, a respected creative singer, performer, an incredible artist to be sure. Well, he moved many, many lives, inspired, brought fame to them, demonstrated what creative hard work it takes and what it can bring you. Juan Gabriel did inspire and share his fame with at least 3 of my friends, proud to say. Please meet the Espinozas, James, Angel, and Santiago. I'm so thrilled to have them in the studio, and we're going to talk to them in just a moment because, you know, things are happening. We've got to pay the bills, as they say. But please, don't go away. You're going to just be loving this interview, okay? We'll be right back.
At Lessman's, we sell what you need. At Lessman's, we rent what you need. Remember, in these trying times, it's important to shop local. Lessman's Pro Audio is at 5413 Lomas Northeast, 2 blocks east of San Mateo.
Welcome back to the Nelson Martinez Spanglish Show, if you will. A little Spanish, a little English. Aquí vamos. Eh? It's good to have you. First, let's talk to James Espinoza, Espanola homeboy, who ventured to California in an early age, or at an early age. And Angel, his wife at the time, also recognized her hidden talents, oh boy, and a desire to entertain while sharing her beautiful voice through song. James and Angel would bring their talents together. Voila, mira lo que pasó. And soon, we're gonna listen to some great stories because they're each so successful. Each one so successful. Bueno pues, gracias for coming here, all 3 of you.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm thrilled. You've got more things to do, you've got more things to do, you've got more things to do, but you graced us with a little entertainment. Well, it's entertainment, but it's factual stuff about how do people develop a relationship to produce a beautiful person. Well, we'll talk to you about your beginnings, way back even before this union. I want to get a little into James's head here. This guy goes back a long ways.
Well, I'm not exactly a youngster anymore, like we were at one time.
Well, yeah, back in the day, as they say.
Yeah.
Tell me, you've had quite a career yourself.
Well, I always wanted to be an entertainer, really. And I used to sing and dance as a little child, you know, and all that kind of stuff that kids do when they're young. And their parents think, well, maybe my son will grow up to be something someday. But I really wasn't all that much encouraged by my parents. They were farmers and they worked in the fields, and my mother had an inkling for art, drawing, and she taught me that at the beginning. So I do art as well. That's one of my favorite pastimes, and it's become an interesting thing for me to do. But I first started dancing with my sister, and we would dance at the high school in Salt Lake City because we moved to Salt Lake City when I was 13.
Oh, mira.
I was born in the Espanola Valley in Blanchitos.
And then you went to Mormon country?
Yeah.
Did you become Mormon?
Oh, yeah.
De veras?
Yeah, my family did.
Sí,
We belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, yeah, very good.
So anyhow, so then after high school, I graduated from high school there, and I told my parents, I want to go into acting.
Boy.
And I says, well, you got to go to either New York, Hollywood, Chicago,
Sí.
or any of the big cities if you want to be
Sure.
a serious actor,
Oh, yeah.
go into it seriously. So I says, I'm going to move to Hollywood. He says, you can't move to Hollywood by yourself. And I said, yes, I can. I'm 18 now. And so I says, that's what I'm going to do.
So off you went.
So the
Did
whole
you
family.
take a Greyhound? Did you take a car? How'd you
The
get
whole
there? How
family
much money you
decided-
had in your pocket?
Not a whole lot.
I'm sure we all go the same route, I guess.
Mom and I went first because we went out to rent a house because there was 7 kids.
7 kids.
Seven
Dios
kids.
mío.
I'm the oldest.
Sí.
So we went out to California, and Mom and I found a house big enough for 7 kids and Mom and Dad.
It was not easy, I'm sure.
It wasn't easy,
Y el
no.
perro, el gato y yo eso todo, ¿no?
Perro y el gato. No se fueron, no teníamos perro y gato. Pero ahí llegamos así. Y luego conocí a un muchacho en la iglesia.
Sí, sí.
Y él estaba muy famoso, ese muchacho, hacía muchos commercials. He was a niño.
A famous guy that did a
little
lot of
guy.
commercials.
Johnny Whitaker, if anybody remember him or
Yeah,
not.
no,
But
no.
he did a lot of commercials, and his mom and dad introduced me to his agent. They said, here's the agent that represents him. You go and talk to her and tell her that we recommended you. So I went to her. She had this nice office in North Hollywood. So I went over there, and that's really how the acting began. Is she
I want
sent me.
you to hold that thought.
Okay.
Because we're going to bring Angel in here.
Sure.
And kind of marry these things together, no pun intended. But
Yeah.
let's do this, set Angel up. This is also a Northern New Mexican kid, a lot about how blessed we are to have the opportunity, one way or another we did it, to get our talents that are down there, part of the DNA, nurtured enough to become an Angel Espinoza. De veras, te avientas, as we say in our lingo. You're very good. You just won an award. But tell me, before we get to the award, back up. Way before you met your husband here. Anyhow, you had quite an interesting career even before then, huh?
Yes, I actually was born in, of course, Española, Nuevo Mexico, a Spanglish girl. I learned to speak English. I learned to speak Spanish first because my abuelitos nomás hablaban español en la casa.
Oh, yeah.
Y mi abuelito me enseñó a cantar La Cucaracha. Y cuando venían los tíos y las tías, ay, mijita, cántales La Cucaracha. And I'm over there singing about no tienen marihuana para fumar. And I was wondering why they thought I was so cute, but now I think I figured it
Sing a
out.
little bit of it. La cucaracha,
La cucaracha,
ya no puede caminar, porque le falta
Marihuana que fumar.
I didn't know what marijuana was, but that was the first song I remember my grandfather taught me.
Oh,
Of course,
yeah.
we listened to Radio Que Dice,
Oh,
we
sí,
listened to all the
no,
songs like
97, Radio Que Dice.
Paloma, Antonio Aguilar. We'd go to the Mexican movies and watch Antonio Aguilar on Wednesday
At the
nights.
Starlighter?
At the Starlighter
Ay, me
drive-in,
acuerdo
yeah.
bien. Well, that's another
Yeah.
story. I was
So-
a salesman for Porque Dice
So
and
I
always
grew
used
up
to sell ads.
loving
Anyway.
music, and I used to watch a lot of television. I used to watch Sonny and Cher when I was a little girl, and I loved Cher because she was so glamorous, and so she wore those beautiful gowns,
Yes.
had that pretty long
Yes.
hair, and I'd learn all the Cher songs, from TV. Then I started discovering Top 40, and I would learn all the songs I'd hear on the radio. I knew all the words to all the songs. I just had this passion for entertainment and music
Yeah, yeah.
from a young age. Then when I went to high school, we had a guitar class, and we had choir, and I was like, oh, we got choir, and we used to put on shows and concerts and things like that, and I would always raise my hand when they want the solo and all of that, and that led me to get a scholarship at Highlands University to study music with an emphasis on voice.
Right on.
And during that time, I met a group that is called Los Copacabana. Ya no existen, los pobres ya se hicieron viejitos, ya se murieron.
Ya se murieron,
But
Dios los tenga en paz.
Dios los tenga en paz,
I
because
know.
they taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Because that was a wonderful experience. They were they started off as a trio in Mexico, and they used to play at the $1 Million Theater in Los Angeles, then ended up staying in the United States and performing. And then the group became more popularized. They added drums and things like that.
Sí.
But they still had they had an arpa and they had the Mexican instruments, and they would play the bamba the traditional way,
Sí.
and jarana,
Yeah.
and then we
Qué
do
bonito.
percussion instruments. We play a lot of sambas and bossa nova. I never even knew what that music was, but I loved it. They said, you're gonna play the guido here, and they taught me how to play the guido and the cowbell and the shaker and all kinds of stuff, las maracas. We do a 4-part harmony on Cuando Calienta el Sol. We just do shows at the state fair like every day and things like that. Back in the day, we went like on
In
tour.
your 20s?
Yeah,
Whee!
and we'd go on
You
tour.
got
We went to like Austin, Texas, and we went to Houston, Texas, and places like that. And, I loved it. We were on the Val de la O show when I was
Yeah, Val de la
19,
O.
which was, I love the show you did with Val de la O, by the way.
I'll have to tell them.
And so I was excited because I was living the dream. I was entertaining and I was learning about all kinds of music. And they mainly spoke Spanish, so that helped me to mi español. Entonces se burlaba un poco de mí porque decía, tengo frío, necesito mi cute. And they would say, cute, ¿qué es un cute? ¿Qué es eso? Hay que vaciar a esta niña. Porque quiere su cute,
Yeah, just back in the day, you could,
Es abrigo. El abrigo.
not to, it's a children's hour, but remember how we couldn't say rosca? Well, it turns out it's a donut for Pete's sake.
But
Everybody
not
got all
here.
uptight.
Over here, well, we're not going to say what it is here.
Or la
but it's
maceta.
not.
Oh, una maceta, and then something. Oh, Dios mío.
Yeah.
Then we won't go down that pipe.
Yeah.
But
So anyway,
That's for another show.
That's for another show, yeah. So one thing led to the other. Then as I evolved as an artist, then I kind of started my own musical group, and then my dream then was to try to get on to perform in the stages of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mira.
And so thank God, with a lot of hard work, a lot of practicing, a lot of desire and everything, we were able to break into the Las Vegas, Nevada market, and that's where I met like Jerry Lopez from Santa Fe. Those guys were very successful out there.
They knew the ropes then.
Cedro Garcia and his brother Sal, they played out there, Cedro's Armada. So we had people from New Mexico out there that I could relate to, like, wow, some of our New Mexican
our
artists are out
gentes.
here, but entertaining every night. And there were so many great live entertainers at that time, and each day after my show, I'd go see them perform because they were the pros. Oh my God, they were incredible.
You got all
and
that.
I learned so
Yeah.
much from just watching them.
Yeah.
And that's where the Sonny and Cher idea came into the show. I thought, when you're in Vegas, you don't just go over there and sing a song, oh, love to love you, baby, or whatever. You do Whitney Houston, and I want to dance with somebody, or whatever. You better entertain. So then I would throw the wig on and sing, I was born in the wagon of a traveling show, and do all that kind of stuff, And that's where that began, and that's where, I think you were leading the story before I came back to New Mexico and Española. And all that.
But she invited me to come and see one of her shows in Española.
Oh, de veras.
Yeah.
¿Y qué pasó? Did
And I
you?
went,
Vegas?
and I think you were home from Vegas.
Oh,
weren't you?
yeah.
And she invited me to come and see the show, and I was very impressed with her. Obviously, she could sing.
Yeah, that's
You know?
beautiful. Well, same actually, because I had lost track really of. I went away for years and years,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, no, that's Angel. Angel, this mocosito. Oh, no, it's an endearment. His mother, yeah. Wow. Tienes la bendición.
So she invited me. I came to see her show, and I thought, gee, she's a good singer. She's attractive. She's got a lot of talent. And so I says, let's record her. So we did a recording,
Híjole.
and it kind of clicked, and the recording
Yeah.
of Angel Espinoza started.
Oh, how cool is that? This?
And I
Can't do
told
it
her,
alone.
we have got to change her name though. You look like an angel. At that time, she had beautiful blonde hair. And,
Okay, I've seen the photos.
and so
Yeah.
I says, we'll call you Angel.
Qué bueno.
Things happen.
See, that's why you're here. You piqued my interest because you two and your energy and yourself, and we're going to hear about how you nurtured somebody very special. Okay, so hold that thought. We're going to go back and forth, and we're going to bring in the star of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. We're going to hear from Santiago, the major star in Latin America, mind you. From Chimayo, fíjate. Well, okay, Espanol. Bueno, we'll be right back.
What do you mean your DJ canceled? Don't panic, Lessman's can help you. You can rent a sound system for your event at Lessman's Pro Audio and Lighting, and they can also show you how to use the sound system you rent. Don't forget, Lessman's also has film equipment, projectors, screens, plus much more. Make your event more memorable with Lessman's Pro Audio and Lighting. Visit Lessman's today at 5413 Lomas Northeast or online at lessmans.com or call 268-2111. That's 268-2111. Lessman's Mean Gear.
And thank you for sticking around. The Spanglish Show with Nelson Martinez. That's remember me, I'm sure, back in the day, anchoring the news at Channel 7. Gracias for all those years that you gave attention to me through the show, of course. So now we're here. We can't sit still. We're offering a beautiful podcast with beautiful northern New Mexico friends and Albuquerque too, by golly. So we're going to have them on, as you've seen some of the episodes. And today is no exception. We have some special guests here. It is James, and it's Angel, and it's Santiago. That's as good as I can do at my age of remembering names. Anyhow, no, how could I not know you guys? Thank you for sticking around, Mr. Santiago.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having my mom and dad. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
That is so sweet. You know, I tell you, really, to know how you've succeeded. The world of mariachi, you took the energy, didn't you? Come on, tell us about that. Like, there's a kid at home following you in your Facebook or whatever. Some guy like me watching, I want to sing. See, what did you tell me? Convince me.
Well, if you love to sing and you're passionate about it or anything really, if you love sports or, I think we're all cut out for something. Some people say, well, I'm not good at anything. Everyone's good at something. You just have to find it, and you'll know if you love it, you'll gravitate towards it. And if you love it, just continue to work on that craft and build it. I love music, and so I feel like I have some decent talent for it, but it
Amen.
doesn't just take talent, right? So I'm always trying to learn something, we never learn it all. So, every little bit that I can learn, I try to apply it to what I do, and I also teach music now too.
I heard.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, so I try to share what I know as well in hopes that, it can inspire someone to do what I do, or even if it doesn't, if that's not their passion, but they still want to learn about it, I'll offer whatever I can to try to help them.
You will definitely, and you have inspired many, I am sure, already. I watched some of the video there. It's just amazing. And then, Mr. Santiago is, what title do you have with the Mariachi Los Angeles Rams?
Yeah,
Right.
so I started in the Mariachi Rams when it first began. So in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Rams had seen a mariachi play at a sports event for the national anthem or something.
Yeah.
So they contacted Jose Hernandez, who was the founder of Mariachi Sol de Mexico.
Wow,
Mariachi Reina.
yeah. Jose Hernandez.
Turns out that the mariachi that they saw play at the game was one of his groups. So they asked him if they could bring their groups to play at the games, and they're so busy, they have their own stuff going
they
on.
are.
And so he said, what we could do for you is form a mariachi special for the Rams.
Wow.
And this was in 2019.
Oh
This
my
is our
God.
6th year doing it.
So what did you do when you heard that news, kind of, sort of, did you go bonkers?
Jose called me. I was here in New Mexico visiting, and my phone rang, and it was Jose. And he said, "Hey, mijo, what do you think? Would you be interested in joining a mariachi that's going to play for NFL games and stuff? It would be for the Los Angeles Rams. It's the first time they do this." I thought, wow, this is really cool. And I had broken my arm at the time. My wrist was broken in a cast.
Oh my God.
And so I said, yeah, that sounds really cool. I'd love to do it. When does it start? Oh, it starts in 2 months. Oh man, my wrist, I'm gonna, get my cast off in a month. He said, you could do it. And so that motivated me even more to heal, I think. I healed so fast from that thing, and I was getting ready. And before you know it, we were at our first game at the LA Coliseum. It was the last season that the Rams played it in the Coliseum because they just built SoFi Stadium.
Yeah. That's right.
And so the first time we didn't know what to expect. NFL fans, mariachi, okay. So we walk out there, and they had a stage near the field, and we came out with El Son de la Negra. The whole crowd went crazy, and it was a hit ever since.
What an electrical event.
So yeah, it's been quite the ride. We've done a lot of collaborations with different artists you wouldn't expect, or it's a lot of fun. You meet people from all over the world. We have a ritual with the Mariachi Rams now. Every third quarter break, we play Cielito Lindo. And we get the whole stadium singing with us. And you see people that don't speak a word of Spanish singing. They know how to say the words. They don't know what they mean, but they say it loud and proud.
That is a good
70,000 people. Cielito Lindo, can you imagine?
That's awesome.
It feels really good when you hear that. Not because you have the people singing with you, but what the song means and how everyone just feels the music.
Yeah.
We get fans from, even different teams, the 49er fans, and they come up to us just as excited as the Rams
How about the
fans.
Chiefs?
The Chiefs too, everybody.
Everybody.
They
No
come up
discrimination.
and they just tell us, when you guys play, it's cool. We don't know what you're saying, but we just feel your energy and it makes us have fun.
Oh, how fun is that? And there, the definition of a blessing doesn't have to be a blessing here. Oh, look. That's a blessing. That sound you hear from all those folks. My God, you're blessed.
And to think that when he was a little kid, he wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah, that goes back to what we were talking about, finding what you're good at and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're passionate about.
Right.
When I was younger, I was passionate about sports and stuff too.
Sure.
All my friends, we played all the time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a bad player. I wasn't the best player or the worst player. But I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But I started noticing what I excelled at. You could sort of tell. I'd play and I fit in with the crowd in the basketball team. But in the mariachi, I seemed to pick up pretty
Right
fast.
on.
And
Wow.
I thought, well, this is something that I'm good at. I could catch on quickly. I think if I put more time into this, I can actually do something special.
There you go.
And so I'm glad that I found that at an early age to help
And he'd
me.
practice till 1 in the morning and say,
Get the-
Santiago, we want to sleep.
Well, it's the DNA. I always say we don't just start at conception. We go a long ways back. How many billions they say the Earth is? Come on.
4.5 billion years
We
old.
can go, yeah, we can go back 100 million maybe. And how many cells are in the body? And each cell has maybe a god or an orchestra he played with, something.
Something.
Wine, and then combine, bingo, and there you are. It's intuitive. You have to do it,
Yeah.
And me, I think I had town criers. We had to put in chisme por donde quiera, no?
Well,
No.
everybody knew who Nelson Martinez is.
You know what, Nelson? When I was a kid, because I've known you since I can remember.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
I was very young,
Yeah.
and we'd see you on TV. And I remember if the news was on and I didn't see Nelson on the news, I didn't want to watch it. I'd say, I want to put it on Action 7 News because Nelson's on that one, and I knew what channel you were on.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how I
You
know.
taught your son well. No,
But I knew Nelson, so I'd say, we want to watch the one that Nelson comes on.
Of course.
that's sweet, sweet. I treasure those stories. Believe me. One time I was out, doing some stuff at Walmart, mind you, and me viene un hombre, muy proud, and said, I wanted to meet you, and reaches over the wallet and he ¿qué está haciendo? So he pulls up his wallet, and here's a photograph of his daughter, who is maybe 30-some years old. Gorgeous picture. And I want you to know, you went to her grade school. When you were at Action 7 News. Made me feel good, but at the same time made me feel quite old. Yeah, really. She's grown and real. No, people like that, stories like that, how beautiful, ¿no? Son recuerdos, pero estupendos, como decimos. Oye, so hold that thought of your wonderful ladder. I want to know more about who influenced you besides your parents. The blessing you got. I know that story. Me hace llorar. I feel it, man. I swear. I want to tell you a quick story. Okay, so Juan Gabriel had built this little thing, quizás para Lola Beltrán, quizás venía a visitarlo, no sé qué. So I started, I met this other guy that he was taking care of the place. And I was with Jeff, my son, and he said, do you want to see the place? I said, I'd love to see the place. Show it to Jeff. I'd already seen it once. The control room y todo, the sound system que tenía, bárbaro. So, being from Chimayo, I said, pues ándale, enséñame. I took Jeff, and I had already recorded Las Lupitas Lolitas. And in KNW, graciously, was playing that area. So that day we arrived, me and my son, and the workers here and there, and the guy says, ya están haciendo el trabajo. Este cottage, me dice, lo hizo por Lola Beltrán para que viniera a visitarlo. Oh, no kidding. Ya estaban afuera, we saw the pillars, the white pillars there. Beautiful, le dije. Pues, entra, me dice, okay. Y había trabajadores, listening to the radio station. Okay. So I walked in the instant, I kid you not, I stepped foot in the kitchen area, because of the steps, and my song, Las Lupitas Lolitas, started. And I go, ¿qué es eso? ¿De dónde viene eso? KNW, están escuchando los trabajadores. No way. My song started the second I put my foot in there. Dije, oh, I think that's a message from Lola. It says, hey, it sounds okay, thank you. No sé qué, I got so teary-eyed. My son and I said, you my witness. This is not BS. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about. I want to talk about how you got back into the taking care of
Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel, thank you. Yes,
Taking
sir.
care of him literally in many cases. Yeah. No, well, it was, my dad and I went to the market, and remember they had
The flea market.
The flea market in Santa Fe?
In Santa Fe, yeah.
And my dad had a lot of tools, and he says, Jimmy, let's go sell and get rid of the stuff that I have in the garage. I says, okay. So we loaded up his truck, and we went. And we were sitting there, you know, just watching people go by, selling some stuff. And I see this one guy walking by, and I says, I know that guy from somewhere. And then he hit me and says, I saw him at the $1 Million Theater in Los Angeles years ago.
Wow, la
And
conociste.
I says, that's Juan Gabriel. And so I says, I want to go up to him and introduce myself.
That's great.
So I walked up to him, and he was walking by himself, and he had sunglasses on and shorts, and he was just looking around, you know. And but he didn't come to where we were. But anyway, I
No
went.
quería fierros viejos.
Oh, well, yeah, because he wasn't interested in that. So I walked up to him and le digo, tú eres Juan Gabriel, ¿verdad? Y me dice, sí, yo soy Juan Gabriel. ¿Y tú quién eres?
Ahora, güey.
Sí.
¿Y tú quién
¿Y
eres?
tú quién eres? So I introduced myself, and y luego me dice, we talked, ¿de dónde eres? Española, and all this, you know, nice.
¿Y dónde lo estabas hablando? Where were you?
Right there in front of where we had our little stand, you know, selling our tools at the flea market.
Oh, at the flea market.
The flea
Mira.
market
Fe,
is
right?
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
Tesuque there.
Wow.
And
This
so,
was what year was this? Like the 80s, right?
this was in 1988, I think it was.
88.
Yeah. And so he tells me, hey, and I had read an article in the paper where he was going to be buying a ranch
Yeah, oh.
in the area with his picture. And I told him, I says, I see that you're going to be buying a ranch. I saw your picture in the paper and the story and all that.
Bingo.
He says, sí, es cierto. Y luego me dice, ¿y tú hablas español e inglés, verdad? Y le digo, sí. Me dice, pues voy a necesitar a alguien que me haga traducciones.
Ay, qué bonito.
Que pueda traducir en inglés, español. Y voy a venir porque estaba en el proceso de comprar ese rancho. Y me dice, pues dame tu número de teléfono y yo te hablo.
Y ahí está.
Y ahí está.
Hecho.
Me habló about 2 weeks later. He calls me up, you know. He says, I'm going to be in Santa Fe, and I would like you to come and meet with me to meet some people that he
Wow.
was talking about
Cool.
buying
So-
of the ranch.
Ay, Witters.
So I did.
How'd you
And-
find the place? I mean, not find
No.
the place location-wise, but how did you?
He had already found it. It
it was already established.
It was
With-
established.
complete with recording studio. you
Oh,
told
no,
us?
no, no.
Oh, he did
It was
that.
just
He-
the big house.
Oh, sure.
Because that place used to be a school
Yeah.
for young men from back east that would come. They wanted to know how
Yeah, sure.
the Old West type of thing, and
Right.
they had all kinds of things for them to do and learn about the Old West.
Yeah.
And that was the ranch.
Mira.
And so he bought that, and so that's how it began.
Do you have any photographs of that place?
Oh, I have a lot of photographs.
Oh, I'd like to.
In fact, I'm
see
working
a couple
on
of them outside.
working on a book.
Right on. A book. Hey, this is your time to
Yeah.
plug it because you know how tape goes on in the internet perpetuity. This will be on forever.
People
This
always
will be on
want to know.
forever. You're gonna be an old man. You still see look how young I look. No, it's
In fact, Santiago was with me. We were visiting him in his house in Cancun.
Míralo.
And you were there when he told me, you got to write a book, right? And he says, do you have my permission to write a book? But say nice things about me.
Ay, que sí.
Cosas bonitas. So I says, of course, you know, it's going to be a good book. And
Well,
so, and I
¿cómo
used
se
to
llama?
take
Do
a
you have
lot
a
of
title
pictures.
already?
I
You
don't
have
have a
a
title
title?
yet.
Not yet.
But I used to take a lot of pictures of him. I was his official photographer for a while.
Well, you're gonna share some of those with us.
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah.
The book will be coming out in about another a year or so.
Cool.
But at any rate, so I got to work with him, and then I asked him one day, I says, he was going to San Diego to do a concert in San Diego. And I said, hey, can I go with you to the concert in San Diego? Of course you can go with me. He was very sweet,
Yeah,
very
I love this song
inviting.
cuando estoy en el
He
campo.
says, sí, of
My
course.
song.
So he says, let's
Estoy
go
chimado.
get
Sorry.
ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get ready, and we're leaving tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Blah,
Mira,
blah.
mira.
And so I went home and I got my best clothes that I could,
Yeah,
I
right
just-
on.
and so I met him at the ranch, and then we drove to Albuquerque to the airport.
Great.
And I remember the airport that was before, all the modern stuff, in Albuquerque
Mira
airport.
nomás.
We had to walk up the stairs to get to the airplane.
Ay, that bad.
And I remember-
TWA, you know?
It was, as a matter of fact. And I remember he bought a couple of oranges to take He used to eat fruit, a lot of fruit. He was a vegetarian.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how it began.
And you met Juan Gabriel. I saw that wonderful photograph with you. See, all this combination, man, the math is just...
She used to call me wanting to know, when can I meet Juan Gabriel?
Yes, why not? Wow.
So she did.
And let's go back over to Santiago, man. When you met and he took you on his wings and you became his godson, Dios de mi vida.
Yeah.
Wow, how cool is that?
So it's interesting how we always kind of gravitate towards talking about Juan Gabriel and stuff.
I know.
Because we
I
did spend
know.
so much of our time with him.
Yeah.
So from my parents knowing him and everything, the day I was born, he was one of the first people to go to the hospital to
In
visit.
Española.
De
In
veras.
Española. And he got lost going to the hospital. He called me.
He got lost in Española? Wait a minute.
Yeah. ¿Dónde está ese maldito hospital?
There's no cell phones with GPS.
Oh, that's
I was
right.
born in 1993. And so, yeah, that's the first time I met him was as a baby, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
He showed up. And we always kind of had a special connection
Of
because
course.
we're both Capricorns. So he would always,
Nice.
before I was born, he would
Yeah.
always talk to them because, oh, the baby's going to be born January 5th. That's my birthday. And his is
Yeah.
January the 7th.
He would tell me, oh, va a ser Capricornio. And then he said, está bien, si siento al bebé. And he put his hand on my, vas a ser Capricornio.
So,
And he would always like give me good advice, like, ay, no te andes pintando el pelo porque es muy malo para el niño. No, tú no vas a ir con Jaime, tú te vas a quedar aquí conmigo en el rancho, ahí con mis niños, porque tú estás embarazada, tenemos que cuidar al niño. And he
In
said,
other words-
iba a ser niño. He would say he knew he was going to be a boy, and he was a Capricornio. And so he was like excited about Santiago being born. He was like there through the whole, pregnancy and all of that, and he really, you could tell he genuinely really cared, about this baby that was about to be born, he felt like a special connection to him. You could feel it. You could just feel that love that he had for Santiago before Santiago was even born.
¿ves? Te digo. ¿Cómo que no estás bendecido?
So
¿Cómo que
then
no?
my name, Santiago, after my dad, Jose, after my grandfather, Alberto,
His
after
name.
Alberto Aguilera,
Mira no.
Santiago Jose Alberto Espinoza. You can't get a more mariachi Mexican name than that, right?
Yep. How wonderful. I want to talk more about your experiences with the group, the sensation that you feel, the singing with your mom and a new record you both put together. Okay, record. Estoy viejito. No, the new release that you guys did, and what Mr. James is thinking about all of this life that he's been part of, big time. In a second, hold those, and then we'll close out the segment here and all of that. But just again to tell you how wonderful it is, you've given me some spirit. I swear to God. Anyway, we'll be right back on the Nelson Martinez Spanglish Show. Thank you for being with us.
What do you mean your DJ canceled? Don't panic, Lessmans can help you. You can rent a sound system for your event at Lessmans Pro Audio and Lighting, and they can also show you how to use the sound system you rent. Don't forget, Lessmans also has film equipment, projectors, screens, plus much more. Make your event more memorable with Lessmans Pro Audio and Lighting. Visit Lessmans today at 5413 Lomas Northeast or online at lessmans.com or call 268-2111. That's 268-2111. Lessmans, mean gear.